What for some time has been a functional state of affairs has now become a somber reality. Vicky Holmes, one-third of the original Erin Hunter Warrior Cats team, has officially announced that she will no longer be writing for the series. The statement came out today, April 24th, by way of Facebook, where she wrote that, "Warriors has been the greatest blessing, the greatest privilege, the sharpest learning curve of my life. But nothing lasts forever. I won't be writing for the series again. I will keep this page so I can update you with movie news. Oh, please let there be some news soon. And maybe I'll pop in to share my new projects with you." But the latest series continues to top the best-selling charts, which proves what a fabulous job the new editorial team is doing, with the ongoing brilliance of Kate and Sherith, of course. Vicky has long served as the editor and story architect for the series. While writers such as Kate Carey and Sherith Baldry largely wrote the actual books themselves, it was Vicky's creative vision that inspired them and much of the series as we know it. She has written much over the years about her inspiration for the series, but I found this post from December 10th of last year to be especially revealing. "It seems strange to talk as if I don't have complete control over these cats. After all, I could have typed different words for the storyline, but these characters and their stories often seem to exist independently inside my mind, and my task is to watch quietly from the shadows and record what happens." Now, I've heard it said that Vicky and the rest of the Erins have only continued to write Warriors books because of money or fame. No doubt the success of the series prompted them to write more of it, but I think it's clear that Vicky's writing has always been about self-expression. Vicky's cacoethes scribendi in many cases seems to come from flashes of inspiration. For example, the character and story of Midnight both came after she decided that Midnight would be a cool title for a book. I don't know about you, but to hear a successful professional writer draw inspiration for an entire book and subsequent arc from merely thinking a title sounded good is really validating to me, especially as someone who's created more titles than stories. Meanwhile, as I've chronicled before, it was a split-second vision of a cat disowning her own adopted kits to save them that gave way to the entire Power of Three arc. Her reverence for books like Watership Down helped to shape the series, while her love of action movies has littered the series with quotes pulled from the likes of Rambo, Gladiator, and the Avengers. And it was her own personal experience with being forced to face her own impending death that inspired the powerful conclusion to Cinderpelt's character arc. More so than any other person, the world of Warriors has and always will be Vicky's creation. That being said, her own role in the series has largely been limited, as she hasn't contributed to the main series since 2014. The latest arc, A Vision of Shadows, has earned much acclaim from the fandom, especially myself, despite being under the control of a new creative team. Her main contributions lately have been novellas, the most recent of which were Pine Star's Choice and Spotted Leaf's Heart. Her decision to call it quits comes in the waning days of the controversy surrounding the latter's inclusion of a Spotted Leaf Thistleclaw romance. The new plotline was poorly received as some fans disapproved of additional romance interests by both characters, since it would seem in principle to cheapen their motivations and feelings in later books. Additionally, others were put off by what seemed to be an inappropriate handling of a predatory relationship between a child and adult. I myself haven't read the book, so I'll refrain from any formal judgment on these matters. I will, however, commend Vicky for the way she has faced this barrage of criticism. Staying as professional and thoughtful as always, she welcomed and responded to the criticism openly. Vicky thanked the fandom for their passion and thoughtfulness, stating that Warriors has the best fans in the world, with the loudest voices and sometimes the sharpest claws. Vicky is an absolute class act, and here demonstrates the virtues of love and humility, even in the face of opposition, that are all too necessary for this generation of readers to embrace. Additionally, Vicky's departure comes after criticism surrounding her personally anointed superfan, Sue Suzanne's role in communicating Warriors information, hit a crescendo. Many have taken issues with her ideas being considered series canon, claiming that they contain contradictions and baseless, needless assertions about the characters. I personally haven't given her too much thought since I rarely use the Warriors wiki and focus more on the text of the books themselves and my own reactions to it than any other source. But if you're interested in learning more, my friend Butterfly Identity has written a heavily detailed piece about her on Warriors Amino. Despite these recent controversies, Vicky maintains that they were not the reason for her sudden announcement. Quote, "I'm not leaving because of the Spotted Leaf furor. I won't deny it's been painful, but I'm tougher than that. I would know know when I had written all of the cat stories I had inside me. That time came with Pine Star's choice. I know there are 1,000 more tales from the clans to be told, but other people are doing a great job of that. I had hoped to go out with a triumphant bang rather than a clatter of outrage, but I guess we don't always get what we wish for. Regardless of the quality of the series, nobody can denounce the content of Vicky's character. I hope all of you help make her exit as graceful as she offered it. Leave her all the kind comments on Facebook and Twitter that you've ever thought, and wish her the best in her future writing endeavors. She's currently working on a new adult book series called Hope Meadows, with the first book, Summer of Hope Meadows, scheduled for release this June. Vicky has already received many gracious and grateful comments from fans. Among others, Butterfly Identity stated, "I would like to thank Vicky for her tireless work on the series, running around the world on book tours, signing books with her iconic purple pen, and bringing joy and happiness to the fans." Blixamy, my friend and co-founder of Epic Rap Battles of Warriors, said, "I'm so incredibly appreciative of her time she dedicated to her work and her fans. It is the most surreal experience to have spoken to someone who's quite literally shaped and inspired all that I'm doing today. Her love and passion will be passed down through those she continually inspires." Tom, my occasional CatCast co-host and other good friend, added, "Through the writings of Vicky, I was able to establish dear friendships, some of which have lasted well over 10 years. I'm forever indebted to the joy I get from not only her creativity, but the creativity that she has inspired in others." Fellow Warrior Cats analyst Tennille Flowers remarked that, "I can't thank Vicky enough for the world she has created and fostered through years of love and hard work. Warriors has shaped who I am as a person, and I would not be the same without her writings. In many ways, Warriors has given me more inspiration than any other form of media, and continues to inspire me to this day as an artist, and I hope Vicky knows that she has raised generations of artists who have found their calling through her books. I wish her the best in life, and look forward to seeing where she goes next." And finally, fandom animator and comedian Moonkitty said, "There was a time in my life when all I needed to hear were Midnight's words of reassurance to 3 cats who had recently lost their abilities. I want to thank Vicky for not only Dovewing's Silence, but every Warrior Cat book she's worked on, because without them, I would be a completely different person. I wish her all the luck in the world as she moves on to adult books from one of the most mature and thoughtful children's series I've ever read." Personally, I owe Vicky a great deal of gratitude for creating Warriors, a series that got me through some of the loneliest years of my childhood, and today has served as the basis for my current YouTube channel, and more importantly, many wonderful friendships. Going forward, this decision likely won't have much of an effect on the books themselves, but now is as good of a time as any to reflect on the series and to share your gratitude and prayers with a person who has given us all so much joy.